Would you like to hop on the podcast?
Whoa.
You want to
Come
come on?
on, come on.
Lindsay.
Screaming in the background.
Yes. Come on in.
I know.
Thank you. Grab this spot.
You get a chance to see what it's like.
Lindsay.
What we've been experiencing.
This is so weird. I'm on the news every day, but I've never been on a podcast.
Yeah,
Wow.
for free.
Wow.
You know how the mic works.
Can you
you're
hear
pro.
that okay?
No. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Oh gosh. So my name's Lindsay Pena. I'm a anchor reporter with ABC 10 News here in San Diego, and we just interviewed you guys because you're going to be on later on
Yeah.
ABC 10 News
Wow.
at 5 and
That's right.
7. Big shout out to your mom, John, for
Yeah.
making it happen.
Wow.
Go, Laura.
Can
She
you
usually
believe?
does.
I mean, actually, I can.
We
believe
love her.
That, of course.
Yeah,
Of
we
course.
love
That
Laura.
sounds
I
about
can
right.
definitely
Yeah,
believe it.
for
Don't do
sure.
that. There you go.
Oh, you
All
got
right.
that. I got
Ah,
you're crazy
gotcha.
for that. Wow. So it's gonna air like later
Yeah.
this evening
Yeah.
when.
In a few
When
hours.
we're
when
still
side note,
live.
we're still live.
We're gonna hope to drive you to that goal of,
Yeah.
of $10,000. But like you were saying, I mean, this really does just touch so many people. And
Yeah. Oh
my
I
gosh.
think when people see it, they're gonna love it.
I
Mm-hmm.
have
So
to ask
excited.
a little bit about you. I mean, we've been
Okay.
talking about us this whole time, and this is now you're on our show.
Uh-oh.
How long have you been? Have you been a news anchor?
Oh gosh, in the business for almost 20 years.
Wow.
And I've been here in San Diego for almost 6.
Amazing.
And I was in Fresno before that.
Okay.
Not too far.
familiar with
Sure.
lovely Central California.
Definitely.
San Diego's a big
Yes.
improvement.
Yes.
That's
For sure.
awesome.
No offense to Fresno, I can say that since I'm from there.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Of
They'll
course.
be fine.
Of
They'll be
course.
fine. That's great. All right. That's so
But
great.
yeah, we get to meet, awesome people like you. When
Yeah.
I went to work today, I had no idea what I was going to be doing or who
know.
I was going to meet, and here we are. That's the
I was
fun part
I
of
was
the
telling
show.
Annie
Yeah.
that must be the coolest part is going to work, and it's like, who am I gonna get to go and like
It's a
see
new.
today?
It's a new thing every day.
That's
I
awesome.
assume.
Really never know. We were in Chula Vista yesterday. We were doing a story about a program that's trying to give more small businesses funding just because of inflation and still recovering
Wow.
from the pandemic. So we were live at a salon with a really awesome lady. She's like owned this salon for decades. Her name is Snooki. She described herself as the original Snooki. She's like,
Yes.
'cause
Okay.
I said, "Is
And I
there any
believe her.
oh, any
connection?"
That's
connection?
like-
Yeah.
The
She
Jersey
goes,
Shore
"Oh,
kind of
yeah."
situation.
She
Yeah.
kind of looked like her, which was funny.
Oh,
but
amazing.
She goes, "No, I'm the OG Snooki.
Wow.
That girl has
She
nothing
doesn't
on
know
me."
it.
Straight
Oh,
up.
that's awesome.
But
That's
yeah,
gotta be the
so it
funnest
was
job.
fun.
What's one of the most
challenging?
challenging stories you've had to work on?
Yeah.
Recently, I would say, this is really heavy, but there's a case up in North County right now where a swim instructor is being accused of sexually abusing students that he
Wow.
worked
Oh.
with.
Yeah.
So
Dang.
things like that
Yes.
are
Heavy.
definitely heavy and definitely, difficult to, talk to families that have been affected or God forbid, children, and it's just really
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Really
and
tough.
how do you ground yourself in like working through stories like that? Because I could imagine that would be really like emotionally taxing.
It is. I mean, I think as you work longer in this business, you kind of have to, unfortunately, detach or, separate yourself a little bit from everything. Because if you didn't, you would be just absolutely emotionally
Yeah.
just destroyed.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of trying to strike that balance, though, of still being empathetic and, finding, what's really important in those stories, but not getting too emotional over them. But I think there are times that,
You can't help it. I'm
you
sure.
can't help
Yeah.
it. And you go home and go,
Swept up in it, yeah.
oof, it's hard to, because we are not supposed to, good journalists should be impartial
Sure.
and should not, let you know their personal feelings about something. But with something like that, I think, you should know where people fall on
Of
on
course.
That. So,
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
but this is a lot.
Yeah.
No,
you
no,
have
no.
like such a broad spectrum
Yeah.
Oh
of
my
things
gosh,
that
yeah.
happen in San Diego.
And
Yep.
I mean, San Diego, like covering stuff here, I will say, I mean, San Diego as a whole is a generally safe city that, I
Sure.
mean, we're not covering a whole lot of violent crime and really awful things. It's a lot of there's a lot of cool people, a lot of
Yeah.
good people here.
Yeah.
And we
Totally.
especially like on this segment, you guys will run as part of our, we have something called Positively San Diego. And so
Yeah.
we try to
wow.
like highlight, positive things that are
Yeah.
happening because
Yeah.
I think so many people don't want to watch the news nowadays because they just assume that it is all bad,
Yeah.
awful,
Yep.
depressing things. And it's not. I mean, there are some really amazing people that are doing really great things, like you guys. So
Wow.
thanks.
We really appreciate that. That is, yeah.
We try
That's
and
high
we try and
praise.
bring smiles to our friends and family and anyone who watches every week. So
oh my
That's
goodness,
true.
awesome.
Yeah,
and
we do.
you are married to
That one,
That one.
Ryan. I'm
That's
Kara.
I love
That's
it.
right.
So are you always apart, or it just depends?
Yes.
on, like,
So
what-
I
yeah.
have been here since the beginning.
Yep.
Oh man.
We did. We tried to do
yeah.
episode 1, just John and I, and I'll tell you what, that was a
And
that
him
was a struggle.
and me and
His sister.
now my also sister.
Yeah.
She was also, we were like the producers.
Yeah.
So she was the more information, had her laptop, was like fact checking. And I was the one who, I was always switching the cameras because normally I just have an iPad and it's really
Yeah.
easy to switch. And then after the first episode, they were like, you guys kept chiming in and you had such great things to say that you just need to be on the show all the time.
Yeah, so we
And
gave him
me and her were
microphones,
great,
and
and
then we
then-
never got him back. as
And
the-
then Annie joined and the rest is history.
We've got a really good rapport going on here
going
these
on 2
days.
years, so we're doing
my
something
goodness.
right, I think.
Yeah.
And Annie, you are.
No.
No.
Not related.
No.
So Ryan's
Friend-
sister
okay.
went back to college,
Okay.
and so
Yep.
we spent like 3 weeks, and it was just such a void because we were so used to the dynamic.
We were
of
like, where's the
four."
fourth person?
And that so Annie had another podcast that she was working on, and so we were constantly running into each other, and we thought, well, let's just put her in there, and then she's just never left.
We just
so.
roped her into
No.
it. Yeah.
Life is my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I've got
just
all the
like
connections
again,
straight.
it's
We're all besties.
yeah. Honestly, like I said, when it started, we knew of each other, and now it's like we spend more time off the podcast than we do on the podcast.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
true.
Together,
Each
we're
other's
friends, you know?
weddings.
Yeah, when we, like I said, we knew each other and we were friends, and then I was in his wedding, he was in my wedding, all this last year,
Yep.
and now it just like feels like, and we're lifelong friends, which
And
is
how
great.
long has the podcast been going?
We just
This is our
celebrated
101st.
Yeah, 101 is
Okay.
this
It's
episode.
today,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
Technically.
What is the
So,
date? I guess like time wise. How
we
long?
that
started
November
right
25th,
right before we got married.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No,
Yeah.
no,
right?
it was a year before
Like
you
a
got
whole
married.
It was a year before we got
Because
married.
one of the first few episodes, probably like 3 months in, I remember Ryan coming in early and being like, I think I'm going to propose to Kara. And I was like, it happened in this room, and I'll
Yeah.
never forget it.
Because his wife took our photos during
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
engagement.
Yeah.
It really, I mean, it was like the more time we spent together, it was like
It was
just
perfect.
snowballed into now. I feel like I'm here quite a bit now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've
Great.
known like John's family
Yeah.
and they've known our families forever.
Long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're kids, really, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that.
Now I can't
So
get
did
rid
it
of
start? Did the podcast though start like during pandemic or pre-pandemic?
Just
or?
out like
Right in
November
there.
of 2020. was
Yeah.
when
Right,
we
kind of right in
started
the middle of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were both like, we were trying to just, I was kind of moving on from into a new project, and I knew I wanted a co-host, and I didn't know who that was going to be. And then I remember we're all mutual friends, so we were at a party, and I was kind of like talking to Ryan, being like, this is my next project. I'm just trying to find the right person. And then the next day he texts me, he's like, hey, that project you told me about, he's like, I'd be interested. And I was like, felt like so dumb. I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like, why didn't I think of that? And then that was just the start of, what it is today. And it's grown like insane amount, which has
Yeah.
been fun. Yeah.
And it's just so awesome. Every week we have a ritual. We come here. We like kind of talk about what we're going to talk about, but most of the time we just improv it and
It's
we
fairly
Punt it, yeah.
loose.
it's fairly loose. And then afterwards
Check
we always
Twitter,
have
you know.
like the tradition of going to get something to eat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
The
awesome.
debrief.
When do you usually
Yep.
tape? It's an
Tuesday
hour.
nights.
Tuesday
Okay.
nights,
And
yeah.
then go get dinner
Yeah.
and drinks. And
Yeah.
Yeah, we
totally.
hang out.
Dinner normally we'll end with a movie.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the last movie you guys watched?
Oh.
We
It's
did
been
watch
really
some
up in the
scary
air
ones.
lately. We've been watching those
Fear
Fear,
Street.
Fear Street.
movies
On
on
Netflix?
Netflix. It's
Okay.
like a series of kind of like more modern.
Oh, is it that Guillermo? I'm
I think
totally
so. I
pronouncing
think
it
his
is.
name wrong.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yes.
Toro. I
Yep.
can never get it right. Okay.
Very
Yeah.
good, by the way. Would recommend. Very
Yeah.
good.
They were
for
great
sure.
because we were like,
sure.
oh, we need some spooky
We
movies.
do. We talk a lot about movies on this
Yeah.
show too.
Yeah.
We're like
Big movie.
big movie
Yeah.
buffs.
Pop
Yeah.
culture.
Movie
Yep.
buffs. What's
Uh-huh.
been like the favorite movie you've seen in the theaters? I guess recently, because I feel like that's such a distinction. How you can
Oh.
like
I love
go
Charlie.
to the movies.
I loved Nope. I
Yeah,
Nope
Nope
was
Nope was
great.
fantastic.
We saw Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't worry,
Uh-huh.
darling. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
it was. I couldn't think
That's
of the
right,
name.
That
that's
was great.
Live
We
up
have
to the
like
hype,
we have that
yeah.
movie poster on our door, and
they're
it's
like
all the
classics.
movie
Oh, I see. Okay.
classics.
We just scratch them off. So we've
Yeah.
been trying to make our way through them, and we never will. But
Some of them are just so long that by the time we're like back from eating dinner, it's like I got work really early in the morning.
all right, hey, listen, we don't want to keep you here, Lindsay.
We've
I know
already
you're a
taken
busy
too
woman.
much of your
We've
time.
Burned your time.
I gotta give
We
these
appreciate
back
it.
to Annie.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
No, this has been so fun. I can check something off my list.
That's
now.
awesome.
You've been on a podcast now,
Official
Yeah, that's
podcaster.
right.
Yes.
and a special one at that.
Thank you.
Thanks
right.
again, Lindsay. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for letting us crash the podcast.
Oh,
Of
of
course.
course.
Like I said, it'll air at 5.
5 o'clock.
7, and I can send you guys a link. I have your mom's email.
Yeah, it's fine. That
Yeah.
works. That works. She'll get it.
That
to
would
me.
be great.
It's usually just like a YouTube link. And
Cool.
like I said,
And to those who are watching live right now
Mm-hmm.
on our stream, 5 and 7 on Channel 10.
True.
5 and
True.
7.
Here it is.
Channel 10.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming by.
Thank you guys.